to just like start the ball rolling, does anybody have any questions for her about her films?
Hello. What's your name? Sorry. Ashik. So the last scene for Lollipop Love is what I find really important is to get to know that person first before you go into a project together. So when you know that person, you would eventually find out what makes that person tick, that person angry, that person sad. So for that child, to answer your question, is if you see clearly, if you see carefully in her iris, I was actually squatting down, like just directly opposite her. So I was just telling her a very sad story about a dog. So asked the mom lately what's the topic of the family basically, and she was just saying that lately she loves dogs, right? So then I made up this story about how the dog ran away. So yeah, and then she started to cry. Yeah.
Okay.
So that happened.
SGNewWave has a set of questions to ask you also. Okay, so can you tell us more about your filmmaking experience in terms of like these 3 short films that you've done?
Okay, so hello. You don't need to be so formal. So if you have any questions in the meantime, you can feel free to interrupt me. I won't throw a shoe at you or anything. So
made the birds fly
yeah. So that was my shoe, but it's just off screen. So I shot, the first film was One-chan, which was more like a self-discovery. Second film was actually Lollipop Love, which was shot the year after. So One-chan was 2012, Lollipop 2013. Only recently we shot just last November, Will You Be My Valentine. So it was only completed this year about May, April. Forgotten your question, sorry.
Like what is your experience in terms of the 3 films that you've done?
Okay, so I'm not from film school or any film background, to be honest with you. So even up to today, I actually am in another industry, doing full time. So that kept me sane a little. So I started off 4 years or 5 years plus ago, I think, as a PA. In Singapore, so I'm not local. So I came to Singapore from London in 2008. So came after studies. What I did, I studied econs. Then I came here, joined the finance industry, like everyone else, right? Then like three years later, I actually wanted to go film school since I was little. About 13 years old, I knew I wanted to go film school, but peer pressure and what your parents wants you to do sometimes is inevitable. So I was in finance for 3 years plus. I quit my job, wanted to go into film school, so I was accepted to one of the performing arts school, I think in Hong Kong. So I was gonna go there. I spoke to a few directors back then. I decided they were telling me, you save your money to go film school, must as well just give me lah, I teach you lah, like that, right? So the film school is 3 years. I did a mental calculation, right? 3 years later, I'm not quite young anymore. Then I figured, okay lah, why don't I just start now, So I didn't go school. I took a break from work for about a year. I went to full-time as a PA. And then subsequently, when my money ran out, I had to go back to work. So I did that, and I still continue on as a PA. Subsequently, I did AD role for documentaries and TV Suryas for a bit until 2012. I shot One-chan because the government was kind enough to give me some money to do it. Yeah.
Okay, so you did say that you are not in this industry.
No.
So what is your job?
I work in a bank up to today.
Okay.
So for 7-8 years now.
So what is your struggle? Do you how do you balance filmmaking and your job?
So I always say the same thing to everyone. If there is something that you can give up on, it means you don't want it badly enough. So for myself, it's not work for me because I like film so much. It's more like something that I get up even without alarm clock. So for example, it's I go to work, come back, 7ish, go nap a bit. Oh, call time, and you kind of like, it's just like your friend asks you out, and you the intention is always there. So you have to want it bad enough, I think. And then you don't treat it as a work anymore. It's something that you really want to go and do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So that's how I juggle at night and weekends, and I take leave to go on shoot. I can never do feature films because the commitment timeline is about a month or two, which means I won't get to do my own things. So yeah.
So was there any time that when you were working there was like an issue that you had to like take a like, you know, emergency leave because something happened in when you were doing the film or something?
Not really, except for the fact that I do sleep in the toilet sometimes. You don't quote me on that. Because you lack sleep. So I always structure it very well. So when I have shoot, it would be I took leave to go on shoot. So when I go back to work, it's really full time back into work. Unless I have a friend that needs help on Conti, for example. Then if I can and if they're having a night shoot, I will go help them. Or if it's weekend, I'll go help them as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did producing after banking, because did you quit your job to do the producing?
No, I've never quit my job to shoot all 3 of my films. So I'm still with the same company up to today. I just have to plan it very well. So for example, my shoot days are always Friday to Sunday. It's always a 3-day shoot. So for the first 2 films, as you notice, I shot it in Malaysia. Reason being because budget-wise as well. MDA give you a certain amount of grant, and how do I maximize the production value? So then the financial aspect of things comes in your brains, right, automatically. So I just took the money and some of the team to Malaysia to shoot. The challenge of doing that was because I started out doing films in Singapore. So when I moved to Malaysia, when I went over to Malaysia to do, it's almost to ground zero again, because it's again back to word of mouth and you being introduced to people in the industry. So that took a while. So Onichan actually took very, very long to make. Also because I have 0 experience in editing and I absolutely hated it. So I had no idea how to use Final Cut Pro, but I have to go learn. And but luckily I have a mentor who's an editor that teaches me how to edit. So it took me 8 months to edit, by the way, that 15 minutes thing, and yeah, so glad it turned out well.
So on that note, what's the difference between the film industry in Malaysia and Singapore?
Okay, so maybe I run you through like the experience shooting in Malaysia, and then I had to come back and shoot in Singapore eventually. So I got to know everyone, most of the people in Malaysia when I shot my first film. So the second film onwards was a little bit easier in the sense I know who to call, and it's easier to get things done in a way because they have become your friends. So it's just like family, right? It's not only that 3 days you guys spend a lot of time together. It's really about your, as Leanne put it, pre-prod. What's with the abbreviation, man? But the pre-production, okay, pre-production where you guys spend a lot of time together. Then it's more like you develop a friendship. So second film, same thing. I got a little sponsor money, so I again went to Malaysia to do, because it has become kind of like a comfort zone for you. You know who to call to shoot. Third film onwards is because of I got the MDA grant again. Then you start to get a bit worried, always taking the government's money and going elsewhere to shoot, and more kind of like benefiting others in a sense. So I decided to do Will You Be My Valentine in Singapore. It was a very great challenge because, as you notice the credits, right, same amount of production value, you get a lot more people in Malaysia, but in Singapore it's a lot less. Then also the fact that Singapore film industry, I feel, is is relatively smaller than Malaysia. So in a way you feel that you get scrutinized a little bit more, and news travel a lot faster within the industry itself. But to be fair, both Malaysia and Singapore, they have great people and very talented people in the industry. And then of course now we have become friends, but again, coming back to shoot, it's when you want to cast in Singapore, is really like what Truffle is this another one, you know. So you have to go through challenges like that, but it would be better you know, as you go along with it.
Okay. So
I hope I answered your question.
yeah, you
Did I? Okay. Yeah.
So you did directing, writing, and producing also,
I for my short films, no.
but outside, like others.
Before I shot my film, yes. So I was PA, and then I was assisting my producer for a little while. To be fair, actually producing is it's like a project management, where you know you oversee things. So for my films, I didn't do producing.
Okay, so between the three, writing, directing, and producing, right, which do you prefer?
What do you think? I don't know. If you have a story that I can shoot, I will be more than happy to shoot because I'm lazy. But I would say directing more. Yeah.
Directing more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because so I daydream a lot, right?
Alright.
So then like I can talk halfway, then I will just suddenly drift off. Then you know, like my brain somewhere else. Right? Yeah. So I would say directing.
Okay, so
Yeah.
tell us about your future plans.
Future plans. I don't know. What should I do? What do you think? I'm still in the bank. No intention to leave anytime soon. Don't quote me. I do enjoy going to work, like being in another industry, because the people that you meet, there's more people that you get to meet as well if you are both in films and another industry, for example. I feel, just personally speaking, I'm still shooting. I try to shoot at least one short film a year, and so my biggest passion in life is just two things, right? Films and philanthropy. I love supporting good causes, so that's how I met Leanne as well. We were on a children's home shoot together, which after that I fell sick with dengue. But anyways, that's not the point. Yeah, so even in my own company, I'm part of, they call it corporate social responsibility. So basically just supporting causes that you believed in. It could be financial literacy, it could be even fighting against human trafficking, right? So for example, for this year's shoot is we want to support hospice centers because of the aging population in Singapore. So the film will be about
aging
population, about bringing awareness to hospice care, basically, but using a story to kind of spread the message, so to speak. So that's. Can I talk more about it? Of course I can talk more about it.
Please elaborate.
What would you like to know about the fourth store? So it will be shot in Singapore.
Is it MDA funded?
It is actually not. It's now under consideration. So I don't know if they decided to give me a grant or not, but that would be great if they do. It is actually, production cost is raised by a bunch of people that supports hospice care in Singapore. So they would like to help HCA Hospice actually to spread this message. So this film is actually going to be HCA's film. Coincidentally in October this year, there's this global awareness that they hope to bring to hospice care. So we wanted to release that this year itself. So this film, I think, is going to be, in terms of, you know how it is, right? When you go shoot a film, you have to wait 1 year and then you release it online. It's because in that 1 year, you want to submit to film festivals and let it run its route, basically. So for this coming film, it would be, after edit, it would be roll out for October.
For that special...
Yeah, for that global awareness thing, because we wanted to make more of an impact for HCA Hospice. Yeah, so a little bit on that.
So any questions?
Yeah, happy to answer any questions you have. Yes, Kunman. Speak up.
How do you think your films can or will help develop the art of filmmaking?
That's a very good question. You know, this is such a political correct answer. That's such a good question. How do I help the art of filmmaking? I don't see it as a commodity per se to help, say, the industry in general, but more like I really believe in fellow filmmakers just inspiring and empowering each other, right? So you see this person here today, like this random person that you've never seen before, just talking about filmmaking. Actually, fundamentally speaking, we are just the same, because you guys probably know more than me, like what's pre-pot, right? And just I actually called this thing one pot. So fundamentally speaking, it's all the same. I feel the more you do, the better you will get. So even up to today, I am still learning, and the more you do, the better you get. I hope to believe that. So to your question, I hope to inspire more people to do more films, and so then we get to just have more Singapore films, internationally, because over the years, with Anthony Chan and a lot more like Randy Ang, they are all coming out with very good films already. And these films, although some of us may not know this, they do get screened or distributed overseas as well. Like Tay Ping Hui's film was screened in China, box office was great, so.
Can you tell us more about your awards for your
Awards no awards leh. You want to give me some?
like the film festivals that you've been screened at?
So the first one got lucky. The first one I actually edited myself. Can you tell? Can, right? So it took me 8 months. Back to the basics. I had to go buy the editing book, them dummy for editing book.
Anything for dummies?
Yeah, editing for dummy, because my mentor was like, you go learn yourself. So I had to go find a book myself. So he didn't tell me what his post-production film software uses, what software they use, right? So I went to buy an Adobe Premiere Pro book, and then after I learned that one, he told me they use FCP. So I had to go relearn again FCP because it's totally different. The first one got lucky. It was screened in Long Beach International Film Festival, I think, because they like sad stuff. I don't know why. Then the second one was picked by LA. And France, they call it One Country, One Film, so it's a Singapore representative for Lollipop Love. Maybe they like sad stuff also, I also don't know why. Then I got tired of doing very sad stuff, so I went on to do Valentine. Yeah.
So your fourth one is also going to be sad too, right?
No eh.
Hospice care.
No eh. Very sweet I think. Because girl filmmaker maybe likes to do rom-com stuff, I don't know. But feel free to share your filmmaking experience too, right? So for me is, so I got asked this question a lot actually. So what are your typical genre films that you like to do? So to be honest with you, I can't tell you because I do not know. Because one day I will be daydreaming about, I don't know, that hospice story, and then the next day I'll be laughing by myself because I suddenly want to do a comedy, right? But there's one genre which I won't do is horror, because I myself don't watch horror. It scared the bejesus out of me. So I don't do horror. But do explore more as you go along. Take your time, right? Even if after school you have to join the army, or you have to do other things, or you have to fulfill responsibilities with your family or peer pressure, whatever. So what I find the most useful is whatever role or profession that you go into after uni, be it even if you're a nurse, right? If you just keep your mind open, there's actually a lot of skill set that you are building without realizing. So to answer your question just now about the producing, why I mentioned project management is I feel my finance background helped me in project management, managing the entire set. Why I said that is because when you produce a film, you not only have to find financing for your director, you need to oversee the budget. You need to make sure everybody's skills fit into their own roles, and I feel that the financing background, the finance background actually helped me in some of my producer role that I was on. So yeah, what else? Let me think. So just keep an open mind, right? That although I hate my job, but I still have to go to work. Just note that you will pick up skills in whatever you want to do next time without even be conscious about it. So
So do you think you're gonna eventually go into a film school and actually, you know?
I do have that stigma still, to be fair. I still want to know what you guys learn in school. I'm still I will still apply for short-term courses like Asian Film Academy or like even Berliner Talents, where it's 2 to 3 weeks course. That will be something I will still be doing, definitely. And so I'm a person that goes with the flow, right? I get, you know, my friends will ask me, hey, you want to do something next month? I'll be the type that go, I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow, so you tell me again next month, you know. So I am the sort of person that just goes with the flow. I try not to think so far ahead because it's depressing. Yeah,
So you just take it day by day.
yeah, just take it day by day, because you know, before you know it, you're like old and I don't know, like a prune.
Yes.
So hopefully you don't look like a prune so soon.
So can we
Yes,
please say your name first?
Hi, I'm Adam.
Adam, hi.
I just wanted to ask, where do you find inspiration for like all your short films that you've written for the past 3? Like, where do you find your inspiration to write them and everything?
So I think people, everybody is different, which I came to learn. I daydream a lot, as I already said. For me, my biggest inspiration is 2 things: people and music. People in the sense that I love to meet new people because everybody is different inherently. And music. So like for example, so Oni-chan is actually a self-discovery film. I never knew I really liked to direct because I have only been assisting and I do mainly producing or help my producer. So Oni-chan, I took the opportunity to really open my eyes to see all the different departments. So I always think it's quite helpful to not shut yourself yet until you are on set and you get to look and see what you like, because I genuinely feel even a production assistant versus a director, their roles are equally important. So for Oni-chan, I actually wanted to produce Oni-chan. I didn't want to shoot it. And then my mentor was like, are you stupid? Might as well just direct it yourself lah, since the story you wrote it anyways. So I did that, but at the same time, I just opened my eyes to each department: camera department, lighting department, production department, and I realized I really like directing. So first film was really about self-discovery. Why the theme of a sister is because in that year, so every year I will surprise my sister, right? During her birthday, it could be like a shocking thing, or I dress up as a mascot, like, you know, walk around Orchard Road and film myself kind. Then so I did that. I find that very hard to beat already. Holding a live doll, walking around Orchard Road. Then so I decided to make a film. Kind of, if it turns out decent, I will just give it to her as a birthday gift. So that was it. Second was because of music that I heard, basically, and I love to work with kids because kids are actually, they do not act. Everything here you see is what they do. The thing that they make just now, the origami, is actually them making Legos. You know, so you just have to think of ways to cheat them. They are only 5-6 years old in that film, so now they are a bit older lah. So people and music, I would say. Of course, the third one, let me think. Oh, so the third one, the inspiration again, are people and music. I met Mindy Ong, the girl, when I was in Malaysia. So when I saw her, she came down and crashed our party, and I was just thinking to myself, wow, she's so pretty. Must be a lot of guys like to ask her for Valentine, huh? So that was it. So will you be my Valentine? That's it. So yeah.
Is there meaning behind the Japanese implication of your titles?
No, because I just like the title. No, I did get asked that question before. Because then, you know, you're putting sister there like, oh, Oni-chan very cute. So okay. See, women are driven by emotions. That's why. And irrational.
Do you have any more questions?
Hi. Oh,
Oh,
Which out of the three films, short films that you did is your favorite?
My favorite. What do you think? So each you like the Lollipop Love? That one was quite cute. I can't per se pick one that is my favorite because it's like your art or like your painting that you like all three, you know. But I got better in the sense, so as you do something repeatedly, you will get better. And then how you will know that is really by confidence as well and your decisions that you make. So films, when you make films, is about time, right? You cannot run over time. A lot of things are more precise. So I would say you will get better, but it's hard to choose. It's because it's very different. Like the third one is the latest is the rom-com, right? That just I drifted off again. So.
okay. So if in that case, which one was the most fun to shoot?
Okay, fun to shoot is really the rom-com.
Okay.
Also because like if you want to shoot a scene like the last scene of Lollipop Love, if you know that you want to set the mood, you do typically have to take note that you want to set the mood before you shoot, so that they will get your talents will get into the mood as well, because you know it makes sense that you cannot joke around and stuff and then you ask your talent to start crying, right? So it's a bit hard. So we had that pressure, like, you know, you keep things to the minimal for Lollipop Love, so that the kids don't get all happy and riled up too. For Will You Be My Valentine, it's fun because they improvise the lines as they go along, and because they kept laughing and things like that, it makes the set more fun. Yeah.
Which one are the most tedious to shoot?
In what sense tedious?
Like, a lot of things went wrong or hard to find props, locations, that kind of stuff.
I think all three. All three, you will start facing not problems, you will start facing challenges even before shoot. Like for example, your talent fell out. Decided last minute they don't want to do anymore, for example. How I discovered Debbie is actually the little girl from Oni-chan and Lollipop Love. She has no acting experience. I actually already casted another little girl, but one day before shoot, that little girl dropped out.
What a bitch.
Oh.
Yeah, so she dropped out because of, I don't know, commitments, and we had to last minute go find somebody else. And then my AD was telling me, oh, you know what, there was this one time commercial where there was a extra that a little girl that let us just draw lipstick on her face, you know, without complaining. Then I'm like, wow, I have to meet this person, because you know how kids are, they get fussy and they complain sometimes, right? So the moment Debbie walks into the house, my DP, which is this burly guy, very tall guy, he actually went, oh, you know. So you kind of know if she's having that effect on people, then you kind of know. So you will face challenges pre-prod. You will also face challenges during shoot. Like for example, Will You Be My Valentine, that raining scene is fake. Yeah, sorry to burst your bubble.
Really?
It was a rainy season. Weather forecast said it's gonna rain, so we already know which camera position we're gonna put to get the raining scene. And then the rain stopped. So what do we need to do? Right? We have to think, like, because you know time is running out, because you know we have to make use of day. You know, later will turn night. So we actually went upstairs and knocked on the people's door and said, can we borrow the bathroom tap? And then luckily one of our crew members had a mini water pump, so they had one only. So we had to run up, you know, put the thing in the tap, and they started to spray, right? But when they do that, it looks just blah, 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 you know. So it's not rain. So it was very trial and error. So everybody started using like water bottles to, on ground floor, pour water, and upstairs to spray water to get that effect. So there will be challenges also all up to post, but you just take it as it comes, you know. Because I cannot keep thinking about, oh my god, like my talent will fall out on me again. Then you will never finish your shoot, I feel.
Do you have any more questions?
Oh,
Uh,
fight.
you think first.
Fight. Sorry? Am I a Mormon? I am, yes, I was born in Malaysia, and I studied overseas. I moved to Singapore in 2007. 2008 till today.
Isn't moving all the crew members to Malaysia more expensive? Why don't you move to cheaper country like Indonesia?
That's why I didn't move the crew to Malaysia. I hired there. So for the first two, I took the grant to Malaysia for bigger production value. I only have me, my DP, and my gaffer. So three of us were from Singapore, and the equipments were also from Singapore, from Bert. So Bert was very kind to let me ferry his camera all the way to KL, and then everybody else it started from ground zero again, being introduced and making friends. So yeah.
Next question.
Yeah. You know, because you ever went to like film school and stuff like that, right? But
Yes.
when you are directing on set, do you ever find it like your lack of technical knowledge? Do you find that it ever like inhibited you?
For me, because I started out as a PA, technical wise, except for camera till today, like I would press record, that's it. So being on the ground helps, really. Having that hands-on experience really helps. It's just like craft as well. If you want to do craft, just reading, it's not gonna help as much as you read and you do. So up to today, I feel, you know, that theory part of my own experience is still lacking. But in terms of experience, I still want to get better. So as I say, when you keep doing and doing and doing, you will eventually get better, I hope, without you realizing as well. Yeah. So to answer your question, maybe the best advice is when in doubt, just keep quiet lor. Like, yeah, right? You don't go when your DP is shooting, you go, hey, which button do I press? So you just
shut up and stand in the corner.
yeah, I shut up and stand in the corner.
Do you have any more questions? Any more? No.
Yes, you can ask me anything. I'm very candid, so sometimes so candid that my boss asks me to shut up. Right? So yeah, and
Can you
not.
tell us how you met your mentor?
So how I met my mentor? Did I ever tell you that? So my mentor is my editor.
Who is the mentor?
My mentor is my editor, from Iceberg, a post house, in Malaysia, Singapore. How I met him is just stroke of luck, as well. I went for this weekend course in filmmaking 101 basically because that weekend I have no shoot. So I actually joined J Academy, by Jack Neo. I think up to today they still have it. So I went there, then I sat down like, wow, shit, man, like the oldest like that leh. But never mind, luckily I look young. So I just sat there and just keep quiet lah. Right, then you blend in. So one of the editing session is Manchong came in. Then I still remember the first thing that he did was he wrote his Chinese name on the board. So I don't know how to read Chinese, you know, by the way. I only know my own name and Sammy Chang's name, but that's about it. Then obviously when he wrote his name on the board, he said, oh, you know, everybody can call me by my surname Yim, you know, because nobody has my surname before. Then I'm like, I have your surname lor. Like, that's my name leh. Like, although I don't know Chinese, at least I can recognize my own name, right? So he didn't believe me. He even asked to see my IC, which I did. So he conducted one whole day of that class and he asked me, then after that then he's always going on about how, you know, young people should just do more and more, and be it you have to learn editing, be it if you want to produce or you want to direct, because it really helps. So after the lesson, I went to ask him, so next time when I shoot my first film, can I come and find you and you will help me, right? And he was like, sure, come find me. And he gave me his card. So back then I didn't know I was going to shoot a film. That was like 1 year before I shot my film, 2011 I think. So 1 year later, I really was going to shoot my film, right? So I took my script and I went to his address in the name card and I went to knock on his door. Literally. And I was like, remember me? You know, you said you would help me, right? In post. Then he was like, you can tell from his face that he doesn't recognize me. But I think, you know, being a man and, you know, the ego is quite important. He goes, yeah, of course I remember you. Of course I help you, right? So that's how I met him. Yeah. So we still been many years mentor now. Editing is very important. I think I see where he was coming from. Why he wanted me to learn editing is because first film I really had a hard time. 8 months leh. 8 months like can give birth already. Then then second film when I eventually shoot, I noticed something. You edit in your head on shoot. So I think that's what he wanted to let me discover. And so for the second film, I thought that he was gonna ask me to edit again, but luckily he didn't. So I think his job was done after the first film. Thinking also seeing how bad it was lah. But so yeah, that was how I met Manchong, by the way.
Okay. So any more questions? No? Alright. I think that's the end of the interview.
No, thank you very
Q&A
much
session.
for having me
Yay.
today. So one more thing, right? If eventually you guys want to intern or, you know, have any questions at all, feel free to get in touch. If you want to be referred to any...
ask these people.
If you want to be referred to any shoots or you want to get introduced to people and, you know, just drop me a note, right? I mean, I may not know everyone, but if I do know, I will be more than happy to just introduce anyone. Yeah.
So, any last words for all these budding filmmakers over here?
Just do not give up, really. Then again, even if I tell you do not give up, right? You know, so I wanted to say do not give up, but then again, if I say do not give up, if you do not want something, if you want something bad enough, you don't even need somebody to tell you do not give up. So, biggest advice is just keep an open mind. So even if you are thrown in situations again, like, you know, you need to go to the army or do something else, you'll be very surprised how round the world is. The people that I've met 7 years ago in like totally different industries, I find myself crossing paths with them today in films. So just keep an open mind.
Okay.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Yeah.